So I'm going to be very transparent right now. Um, a lot of you don't know, I've been doing relationship posts for maybe the last 7, 8 years. I started on Twitter before there was even Instagram. And I've been doing them under the title of When the Right One Comes. Even have a book. Shameless plug, GregDavisShow.com. You can get probably over 600 of my relationship quotes. But I started doing the videos when they brought IGTV out because I could talk longer and reach more people. My grandparents were married over 60 years to each other. I moved with them when I was 9 years old from a single mother who kind of lived a little loose. My father only was married once, and that was later in his life. He's still living. So the only example of a solid marriage or relationship was my grandparents. And if my grandfather had a girlfriend, then she was on the moon because he was home every evening. He drove my grandmother to work. After he got off of work, he worked construction. Sometimes he was a pastor, and he was always with my grandmother. And literally, when she passed first, he literally it took him for a loop. He was never really the same. But to see marriage for 60-some years and a loving couple, and then I go through divorce, and I've talked about it very, very openly twice. And I can talk freely about the first time. I don't talk as freely about the second because it's fresh still, 6 years. And everything has a time and a shelf life. And so I open up more and more, but I can't phantom in my mind. And now let me say this. Either divorce was not because of infidelity on either part, on my part or the other person's part. First time we grew apart. Me and Pastor Kim grew apart. We helped build each other. We helped build ministry. But we left the most important thing out, and that was us, our marriage. And so it was no infidelity. But the thing that I saw for 65 years work for my grandparents is the very thing that I have not been able to master. And I'm being very transparent. And so I'm talking to you from my own journey of marriage and divorce. And I'm going to talk more about divorce in the future, getting ready for my YouTube channel. But people ask me, why do I do it? I'm a preacher. And I think that we don't talk about it enough. I don't think as preachers, we talk about relationship because we have a lot of relationships that are struggling. And sometimes you can't talk about it when you're in it. So maybe I had to be one of the sacrificial lambs to talk about it. Now people are inviting me to do relationship panels and stuff. And I'm going to do some on my own that I sponsor. But I'm doing it to help others. I'm not an expert. Well, maybe I am, because I've been through it and I've failed at it. And 20 years was married to Pastor Kim, so I didn't fail completely. We stayed together. But nobody gets married. Somebody said, well, why you didn't make it work? Nobody gets married to get divorced. Nobody. You don't spend all that money to say, oh, I'm going to get divorced. No, it happens. And there is a process. Those of you that have just went through divorce, you haven't went through all the process. It's like a death occurs. And so there's a healing that takes place. And so I'm sharing these relationship posts, and I want you to go look at the ones that have already posted IGTV, YouTube channels coming when the right one comes, get my book. But I'm sharing it from my experience, and hopefully not only can I help those that are in the church, but I can help those that are not in the church. I have those that come in and say, oh, you've helped me. And I give a lot of advice on DMs and emails, and feel free to DM me. When I have time, I'll answer it. GregDavisShow@gmail.com. But I do it to help you not to go through. If you are in a marriage and you can make it work, make it work. I had a friend, and I'm not going to name him, but I had a friend that said to me, if you can make it work, Greg, make it work. By that time, we sought counseling too late. But I want to say to you, if you can make your marriage work and you love that person and it's worth fighting for, make it work. Also, don't be a phony though. If it's not working and you're staying for the wrong reasons because of appearance, and you're willing to sacrifice appearance for happiness and peace of mind, then you need to weigh up what's more important, because at some point, your peace of mind, not all the luxuries, not all the fine homes, at some point, you're going to look back over your life and you're going to regret your decision. So at any cost, your peace and your happiness. Dating is not what it used to be years ago. It's a different world out here. You know, I'm going to do a relationship post about, you know, women now, they don't really need a man. They make good money. They have great careers. So they don't really need a man. They may want a man for companion's sake. But man, it's a different day. They don't need us. They may want us, but they don't need us. They don't need you to take care. When you show you got a nice car and all that kind of stuff, they don't care nothing about that. They got nice cars. They got nice homes. And so the reason why I do this is to help somebody not make the same mistakes. After looking at 60-some years of marriage with my grandparents, and then as of yet have not been totally successful, I want to help somebody else. I want to help you. And I want you to walk through my process and be one that be transparent. So that's the reason why I talk about relationships. Y'all have a peaceful day.